How's it going, guys and girls? Thank you and welcome back to episode 2 of Ketchup and Mustard's From Casual to Competitive video tutorial series. In this episode we are going to be covering the various meters that are in the game. That includes your super meter for your enhanced attacks, your breakers and your x-ray, and your stamina meter which you use for your general mobility and your environment interactions. Both of these meters are incredibly important in every match that you will play in this game. So we're going to start things off with a super meter.
When it comes to using your character's super meter, in a high level match you will mostly see super meter used for a meter burn or enhanced version of a special attack. What does this do? At the cost of a single bar, you can power up one of your special attacks. Not all attacks in the game can be meter burned, but we're going to use Scorpion's teleport as an example here, just for the sake of keeping things simple. So, you down back 3 is Scorpion's teleport input, down back 3 will teleport. If I were to meter burn this teleport, I would do down back 3 and then block at the same time the button is pressed. So, for example, to do Scorpion's meter burn teleport, it would be down back 3 and then block at the same time to get the enhanced version of this attack. If you look at my button input on the bottom left, we'll do that one more time. Down back 3 and block together will do the enhanced teleport. Not every attack in the game can be meter burned, as I said, but this is how you meter burn every attack that can be done so. The properties and the things they do will be different from attack to attack. You've noticed already that Scorpion's meter burn teleport will actually pop the opponent up for more combo potential, whereas the regular version will just simply leave standing. Another important feature of an enhanced special is to armor through an attack.
So what exactly is armor? Armor is a property that if a move has, will give it the ability to absorb a hit while you're doing the attack and potentially blow straight through what it is that hit you while you did the attack. I'll show you an example of this right here. Ferritor's Tore Up, which is his uppercut, which can be done with down back 2. When this is meter burned, it applies a hit of armor onto it. So I'm going to do this at mid screen and Ketchup's going to try and throw a spear at me and I'm going to see if the normal uppercut will beat it from mid screen. Let's have a look. Nope. One more time. Nope. And third time. There we go, so that's 3 for 3. As you can see, the regular uppercut will not be able to beat that spear from this distance. So I'm going to try and meter burn it now and see if my armor will kick in. And it did. I took the damage, I took the hit, but my armor kicked in and I absorbed it and went straight through and hit Scorpion for doing that attack. I'll show you twice more. That's another one, and one more time. There we go, so every time the spear was absorbed by my armor, I did take the impact damage, but it didn't matter because I blew straight through it, and that's where you do whatever combo it is you want to follow up with. So that's the good applications for armor. Not every attack has armor on it. The best way to find out is to just go into training mode, see if your attack can absorb it, because most characters have some way of using armor, but not all of them do. And also armored attacks are fantastic for wake up. I'll quickly show you right here. If getting knocked on the floor, I'm going to try an armor attack on the wake up. So if he was to try and pressure me, my armor would kick in and I go straight through his attack and I'm off the ground and he's now on the floor himself. So that's a really good use for armor, and I'm now going to explain exactly what super armor is, which is the second form of armor that you see in NRS fighting games. Super armor is basically the ability to absorb more than one hit with your armored attack. Ferritor and Cassie Cage show this off quite well, because her projectile, when meter burned, shoots multiple times very quickly, which normally absolutely destroys armor if you're trying to use it on a charge to get in. So as you can see, if I was to use armor here, I get shot out of it very easily, I'm back at being full screen, which is not where I want to be, I've spent the bar, and it hasn't really got me anything. The Tor charge, which is back forward 3, has super armor when it's meter burned, which means that I can do this. I can blow straight through all of those hits, absorb many hits, knock her on the ground, and I'm straight through her keep away, and I'm now up close where I want to be. So characters that have super armor, not many of them do, and not many attacks have it, but those that do can have a much easier way of getting in on this heavy keep away, heavy zoning, which normally gives them quite a problem. So hopefully you guys now have a better understanding of what meter burn attacks do, and more importantly what armor does, as it is a very popular go-to wake-up option for a lot of characters, and is very tough to deal with if you don't understand it. Now that's out of the way, we are going to move on to something very, very important, which is the breaker system.
We understand that many of you will already know how to use a combo breaker because it's been such a staple part of the game since Mortal Kombat 9 and even before that. But anyway, for those that may not know, The combo breaker is done by holding block and forward in the middle of taking damage in a combo. So if I'm comboing Shinnok, he'll hold block and forward. At the cost of 2 bars and all of his stamina, he will do a combo breaker which will save him from damage. There is also actually a new part of the game now. It's called the block breaker. It's the same similar thing, it will function the same way, but you do it by blocking, and during your block stun, hold stance switch and forward, or press stance switch and forward while blocking to use a block breaker. The big deal in Mortal Kombat X is that not only does it take 2 bars, but breaking will actually drain 2 bars of your stamina as well. You need to be careful when using your block breaker and your breaker in general. The lack of stamina is a pretty big deal, because as you saw there, the opponent actually can't backdash with no stamina. When it comes to using a block breaker, I actually only really recommend using a block breaker if the chip damage from the opponent hitting you is going to kill you. Otherwise, it's not really worth using the bar. It's extremely situational, but I'm glad it's there. It's a very good part of the game for characters that just want to rush you down and chip you out until you're dead. That's how to do an actual combo breaker and a block breaker, but the main part of this video is going to be when to use this. We're going to present you with a couple of scenarios here to show that using a combo breaker actually isn't always worthwhile. So, this example, in this situation, Shinnok has way less life than I do. He has a breaker available, but I have way more health and a comeback is already unlikely. If I hit him now on a combo and he breaks, he's essentially saved himself from the death. But a comeback is even less unlikely now, because he now has no meter to work with. He still is down on life, and I still have way more. So in this kind of situation, it's actually worth taking the round and just understanding that if I go into the next round with this meter, there's a much higher chance of me taking that round at the cost of this one. The next example we're going to use is to demonstrate that once you understand what combos into what attacks with each character, it's actually not worth breaking every single touch anyway. For example, Scorpion's back 3-2 forward 2 combo. Past the first hit, the second and third hit actually can't combo into a special attack. When it comes to breaking this, in this scenario, if I tag Shinnok with this combo, and he knows that this will only combo from the first hit, and he breaks it anyway, he saved himself from the damage, but now he's got no breaker to combo the actual game-winning combo. So essentially what's going on there is, already understanding that I can't special cancel my second or third hit, he breaks it anyway, but because he has no breaker and no stamina, I can run in and tag him with an actual combo to win the game. If he'd have saved his breaker and taken the original damage, he would have been able to save himself from the end of that round. The final piece of the meter system we're going to talk about is the X-ray. By pressing both triggers together, or stance switch and block at the same time, you get your X-ray attack. A lot of people wonder why we don't see X-rays in tournament play very often, and there's a pretty distinct reason as to why. Using them by themselves, it will bag you 34% damage, and it mainly comes down to the damage of this attack, and that's why you don't see it used. I've got a couple of combos recorded, and you're going to notice here that at the cost of one single bar, I can actually far exceed the damage that the X-ray did by itself. The main reason here is that people will save their meter for other uses, whether it be a breaker or enhanced specials. The only 2 reasons you would use an X-ray in tournament play is for either guaranteeing the win through unbreakable damage, or to combo into your X-ray for more combo damage than a single bar would obtain. This is very situational, but it is the main reason you're probably going to use an X-ray at the end of a set if it's going to guarantee much more damage than any other combo would obtain you. We're going to look at the next thing here, which is when to use your X-ray for unbreakable damage. The scenario we're going to show you here is that Mustard is on full meter. He has an X-ray available, but more importantly, a combo breaker. If I tag him in a full screen spear, instead of doing a combo he can break, I'll go straight into my X-ray for unbreakable damage. This will guarantee me the round win, and if it's the last round, the game win. This is the main time you're going to see people use X-ray in tournament, is to deny the opponent's option to break.
So, the stamina meter is a returning feature from some of the older Mortal Kombat games, and its purpose in Mortal Kombat X is to let you to sprint forward by holding block as you forward dash, which will drain it gradually, to backdash, which costs half of your total stamina, or to interact with the environment, which is done with its own button for the cost of half of your stamina, as you can see there. We're going to show you now some practical uses for your stamina and when to conserve it. Backdashing is a common go-to defensive option for a lot of players due to the backdash having invincibility frames on the startup of it. What this means is if I get knocked on the floor and he tries to pressure me and wake up and I backdash, I will usually be able to escape it quite easily, as like so. So I can avoid the attack, stay safe, and it only costs me half of my stamina without having to use a wake up attack to get off the ground. Another good use for this is to make a string on block, like for example my forward 2-2 with Shinnok. Normally he's going to want to press buttons after that, but if I backdash, I can avoid that damage altogether by again getting out of harm's way and keeping myself safe. Environment interactions are things you see quite commonly in Mortal Kombat X, even in competitive play. Because they're very good, they do a lot of damage, most of them are plus on block, which means you get quite a good situation even if the opponent blocks them, and they do only cost you half of your stamina. The main use for many of the corner ones is when you meter burn them. For example, the car exhaust will gain a hit of armor when you meter burn it, like so. So I go straight through it, hit him with it, a car exhaust is now out of play, I used it and I got the damage. But the main use of these is if you get an armoured environment interaction, some characters that might have quite weak armoured options or no armour whatsoever will now get that threat of armour should they be near the interaction. Right, last but not least in episode 2 will be the sprint mechanic. Sprinting is a very aggressive tool in this game, as it can be used to really close the gap between you and your opponent very, very quickly and very easily, universally with most of the cast. For example, let's say I duck Scorpion Spear. I can run in his face and get a free combo on him just because he did that. Or, let's say I anti-air with an uppercut, I can then sprint after him, so as he stands up, I'm in his face doing my thing and getting some good pressure in. You can also use the sprint to piece together combos and link moves together that otherwise would be very difficult to do so, but we'll explain that in our next video, which will be episode 3, how to piece combos together. And there you have it. That concludes episode 2 of our Mortal Kombat X tutorial series, focusing on how to really break down the meter system. Two very important parts of the game, and another important part, as previously mentioned, is the game's combo system. That will be episode 3. Make sure you tune in for that to see how you piece together big damage. Because without combos and without damage, you're not going to win. If you guys enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for more MKX content. We are Ketchup Mustard, and we'll see you around. Take care, guys.